everyone. I am Michael Denufrio, and I'm the digital marketing and e-commerce specialist from Madeira, USA. Welcome to this installment of Madeira Community Conversation Series. Today, I'm here with Asia Mathews, the co-founder of Mathews & Co. Printing and Embroidery. We're going to be talking about the industry, best practices for embroiderers, social media marketing, partnerships, and some more. So first off, why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your business, Asia?
Okay, hello. My name is Asia Mathews, as you already stated. I am the co-founder of Mathews and Co. I am also a mom. I have two little ones, one of them not so little. I wear many hats when it comes to my personal and professional life, and most importantly, I do embroidery. So I love what I do. I've been doing it since 2020. I actually started in the customizing business back in 2015. And it wasn't until 2020 that I really started taking it seriously. And once I started taking it seriously, and it just took off from there. So I'm happy to be here.
So happy to have you. And it's kind of funny how originally we saw your video, you had tagged us in our bobbins. And it's funny how from tagging us from that, it's ended up into this and how it all pans out. And yeah, we really appreciate that. And you make some great videos. You've been able to grow on Instagram. Let's talk a little bit about how are you able to grow on Instagram and what are the things you did. It was consistency for sure, but I'm sure there was a lot of strategy behind that. So
Yeah, so when it comes to social media, I think a lot of people, a lot of small businesses try so hard to sell that they forget that you actually have to give people things before you can take their money. So it's not just about saying, "Oh, look at this product. I want you to buy this." It's more so telling them why. It's creating a demand for yourself. And I feel like that's what I've done that has separated me from a lot of other people. I educate people. I make people laugh. I give people the real, I'm not perfect. I'm always telling people about my story and where I came from. And I think that's the most important part of social media is being 100% authentic and who you are. And the customers that are for you, if you follow certain things, then they'll flock to you. So you never have to worry about your ideal customer if you market yourself on social media the right way.
you just said so many incredible things that I agree with fundamentally on so many different levels. Talk about education, educating people and inspiring people, being authentic. These are the things that we're craving. And you can't just speak, a lot of brands, they do it wrong. They just talk about themselves and not, talk about other people or, giving shout outs to others, collaborating, having conversations with other people, going back to education. Like I saw a quote the other day. It said content marketing is really like a first date. If all you do is talk about yourself, there probably won't be a second date. But
Absolutely.
it's so true, right? And so I love that you do that. You've done a great job with it, and look what the results have you showing. You're climbing up slowly but surely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Like you said, if you talk about yourself, people, will become uninterested. And I think that's key when you're trying to get people to understand why they need your product. It's not just, oh, buy this. And I also tell people, don't sell the product, sell a look, sell a feeling, sell an emotion. You're
Right.
more likely to win people over if you show them, like, oh, look, if you buy a shirt with your logo, you're more likely to be able to get more business because you may just be walking and someone sees it as opposed to buy this shirt with your logo because it's 50% off today. Like it just comes with a different set of emotions.
Right, right. Yeah, 100%. And so, yeah, I think that there's so many different levels there. And I've seen a lot of individuals. For social media, it's important, but their website too. And you have to invest a little bit of money into your website. You have to be tracking. You have to be measuring. You have to be. Yeah, I've come across some different websites that they're outdated. And really, I mean, you can have the most beautiful website in the world, but it's also about promoting that and taking the steps to do that and having a strategy to do that. And a part of this is social media. A part of this is just creating content in general to get your website found. But I just want to, I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of individuals in this industry, you should take that more seriously, because there's all sorts of capabilities that you can use with a website and retargeting and all the good things that come with it. Whether it's, you're doing some organic content that you're posting in conjunction with some paid ads. But yeah, so, and I know that we talked about how you got started in embroidery. So, talk to me about the pros and cons of the embroidery business.
Wow. Okay. So I feel like there are so many on both sides.
Right, right, right.
So I'll start with the pros. So first up, the embroidery business, if you do it right, you can really be financially you can financially thrive when it comes to embroidery because, contrary to what people believe, it's not a lot of people in the embroidery business that are young and with the culture as far as like the whole social media platform. A lot of embroiderers are people who have mom and pop shops that are, ducked off behind Main Street somewhere, or, they're in another country. You don't really see them, they're more behind the scenes. So I think something that's been great for me in this industry is realizing that and knowing that, okay, I I have a benefit. I have something that's going for me as far as like I'm out there, and then I'm a vibrant person. When I talk to people, people naturally vibe towards me. And then I feel like another great thing about this industry is you can make it your own. It's not like, let's say, the beauty industry where there are standards for beauty. When it comes to embroidery, it's all about creativity. You can choose your niche. You can choose who you want to market to. I tell everybody I only service small business and corporations. You can make it your own. Another great thing about this business is you don't have to worry about having a bunch of inventory because everything is made to order. So, unlike those businesses where they have to have, 500 pieces of the same thing in order to sell. No, I don't purchase anything until a customer pays me for something. So, I'm not wasting a bunch of money, and I'm working from home. A lot of people can't say that. A lot of people need, walk-in type areas. Like, say for instance, if you're a nail tech, you have people constantly coming in and out of your space. So, I'm in the comfort of my own home. I do work in, what I call a uniform, but most of the time, I'm in socks, just walking around the house comfortably. And, it's a beautiful industry, but you have to be patient with yourself. And I can swing into the cons with that. Just starting out, embroidery is not easy. There are so many different steps to the process. You have digitizing, you have to make sure that the file you're using is correct. You have to make sure that the stitch count matches with, whatever garment you're using. You can tear up a bunch of garments if you're not doing something right. Just making sure that your tension and everything is right. So it's so many technical things that goes behind the scenes, and I don't think a lot of people are willing to put that time in. And I think that's why, I hope I'm not saying this the wrong way, that's why elderly people are more so in this industry, because they do have the patience for it all. Whereas, most people my age, they feel like they want to start something today and end it in the next 5 minutes. And, unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Another what could be a con is it's not cheap. My machine, I tell everybody, this is a $20,000 machine. This it doesn't come cheap. So unless you're willing to invest the money and invest the time and really be willing to go months without making money in order to get to the other side, then it'll be difficult. But I feel like that could be true about any industry.
Yeah, that could be true about any industry, but yeah, I mean, and I think that you're right. It's delayed gratification versus instant
Hmm.
gratification. And you're going to have to be resilient and consistent in any industry, but especially in this one. It's
Yeah.
funny. I just came from the Impressions Expo in New Jersey and Atlantic City, and I met some phenomenal people there, and they shared a lot of the same things that you just said. And they put the time in, and they commit, and they stay consistent, and you're going to have to endure some failures, but that's how you triumph and get to your successes. But I didn't realize that you were doing it out of your own home. That's a neat thing, and I imagine that's very enticing for some people too. So, and you,
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, so my guest bedroom, I call it my warehouse. A lot of people laugh at me when I say it. They're like, "Oh, what you know? Oh, in the warehouse." Yeah, I'm manifesting for future times to come.
yeah,
But my dining room is set up as my office, and I have like a little panel thing that I just close anytime I want to come in and out. And I close the door of my guest room that way I don't feel like, I'm in the office at all times. I feel like I have a degree of separation between my house and the workspace. So yeah, it's comfortable. I love it.
yeah. No, that's good. And a lot of people who work from home, they need to have that separation between your home and the workspace, and that makes total sense. And so you're shipping all across the country, in some cases internationally, or is it mostly within the U.S.?
Yeah, so I have it's funny because when I was doing my business plan recently, I just brought this up. I have shipped to 45 states. I have shipped to over, I think it's been 12 countries now. So
Look at you,
it's really
global.
going pretty good. Yeah, global. It's going really good.
From Katy, Texas, across the globe.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's amazing. So, going back to Instagram, and because that's a part of the growth for why you've been able to do this, right? It's one piece of it, right? One of many pieces, but you're very good with strategic partnerships and collaborating with other individuals, and I think that there's a lot to learn from that. So can you talk about, like, what you've done, maybe some best practices, how others can kind of follow in your footsteps with that?
So when it comes to content and reaching out to anyone, first, like I said before, I I create a demand for myself.
Mm,
So before I could be anyone's brand ambassador, before I could do anything as far as like promoting other people's business, I had to make sure that I had my business intact.
right.
So, of course, that took some time. And then once I begin to have a demand for myself, then I was able to show people my worth
Yeah.
because I put out great content, and that's basically saying, okay, you see me now, you see what I'm worth. Now I can the ball is in my court when
Mm,
it comes to who I choose, as opposed to you not knowing your worth and you just blindly accepting all types of partnerships. And then you have to make sure that the partnerships that you accept are in line with where your business is going.
right.
So for me, right now, I'm actually a brand ambassador for 4 companies. And these are things that are all, it's not necessarily embroidery or printing based, but it's it's an offspring from some form, whether it's my personality or it's the business, or it could be both, intertwined. But if ever you're choosing to collaborate with someone, make sure that it makes sense, or else you're kind of just all over the place. Walmart is a great company. I truly do feel like they're amazing, but Walmart has not niched down to who exactly they're selling to what exactly they're selling. You can find anything in Walmart. I just found out recently that Walmart sold caskets.
Oh my
So
God. Didn't know that.
yeah, right, right.
Fun fact of the day, everyone.
Right. So it's like, you have to really just niche down in order for you to be able to figure out what works and what doesn't work. If not, you're kind of just all over the place.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I think that sometimes people they jump the gun and they get too all over the place and they're accepting these things that aren't really in line with what they do. And it's,
Mhm.
there has to be some purpose behind it, some vision behind it. It has to be on brand with what you do. And you have to be tied to your values too. And hopefully it's paying off for you. And and it's a reciprocal relationship when you do that, right?
Right.
So that's awesome. I love that. Um, you have talked about, you made a video that you mentioned that enduring, disappointment is a part of leading to your success. I'm referencing that video that you talk about the inventory that you had, you showing off the garments of the HUD holes or manufacturer defects. And you're like, this is the part that embroiderers don't always see, or that someone who's just getting in the embroidery industry doesn't see or know. Yeah, so can we talk about that? I thought that was really compelling.
Yeah, so at one point I didn't understand, I didn't understand tension. I didn't understand the difference between the needles. I didn't understand the difference between the types of fabric or stabilizers. And I was kind of just like, okay, well, a lot of my mistakes happened when I first got my embroidery machine.
Mhm.
So, here I am with this brand new machine. I'm excited to use it because I want to start making money as soon as possible. And, I'm just rushing, putting things on hoop, starting, and will walk away from it because, this is a $20,000 machine. It should do the
Right.
work. I shouldn't have to look at it.
Nope.
And then you come back and that silk shirt has like 1,000 different snags and holes and all of this stuff in it. So it's like, okay, this is a, $20 shirt, or this is a $15 shirt. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you
That's
only charge your customers, it does add up. And it's been times where I have actually spent more than I made, than I profited on an order because I had to go back and replace the garments. And, I always want to make sure that the products that I'm putting out are the best. So if after I'm finished, I look at a garment and I see like, dang, this letter E kind of looks a little swiggly compared to the other letters, then I have to trash it. Some things I try to salvage, but a lot of the times because, needles hit certain places and you just can't control it, I have to throw out a lot. And, the thread counts. It's been times where I have created designs. I've digitized the designs with like 20,000 stitches, trying to put it on a head. And, for those who don't know, 20,000 stitches is a lot for something that can only hold, maybe about 10 to 12. So, I realized that the heads are bulky, like the material just starts to bend. So it's a lot of lessons that I've learned over time when it comes to that. And, something that may not be my fault when it comes to manufacturer defects. I didn't start paying attention to clothes until I really got in this industry. When you look at certain things, like say for instance, this sweatshirt that I have on, you'll look at it and say, oh, this is nice. But if you really start to pay attention, there are so many issues and errors that, the person who does not deal with clothes on a regular day basis will never see. And the same thing can go for like furniture and stuff like that. If unless you're looking closely, you won't see it. So it's been times where I've completed an order and I'm so proud and I'm taking pictures. And as I'm taking pictures, I'm looking closely and I'm like, crap. So now I got to throw it away because I can't return it because I've already done something to it. So yeah, it could be pricey if you're not being, what's the word? If you're not being conscious of every step and you're rushing through it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be meticulous, right? And like, yeah, you go to create content or something and you're like, oh, that doesn't work. And then you're out, not only does the content out the window, now you have to go figure out and resolve the whole issue in its entirety for the apparel.
Yeah.
It can get pricey, but I look at it optimistically as you learning valuable lessons from every time something like this happens, and you just get better and better as you go.
Yeah.
Learning from those mistakes. So good for you. There's we were talking a little bit about like puckering. I'm gonna make in the YouTube description, I'm gonna put a link to a puckering blog that we made because there's so many different like getting the tensions right. There's so many different elements of that need to be done so you're not puckering, and I think that beginner embroiderers they deal with that, and so I'm definitely gonna make a link there. So what I wanted to discuss, like, what are your go-to threads that you use? What are your favorite designs? Like, let's talk about that.
Okay. So my absolute favorite, I'll go to my favorite and then talk about my least favorite. So
Sure.
my absolute favorite is like neons. I love neons. I love bright colors. I love how they just like bounce off of any type of shirt or any hat that you put them on. I recently did a hat with like I want to say it was three neon colors in it, and it looked beautifully. I love seeing vibrant colors when it comes to embroidery. My least favorite threads are metallics. And the reason why is because depending on the material that I'm using, I always have to adjust the tension. I have to make sure that the stabilizer is perfect. I feel like when it comes to regular rayon threads, you don't really have to mess with the tension too much. It just is what it is.
Mm.
But when it comes to the metallic threads, like it's always a chance that it may pop or something, or if it ravels or unravels, it may unravel in a weird way. So now you have to pull so much thread out and waste a lot of thread to make sure that it's good. So metallic is by far my least favorite thread to work with. Although it is very beautiful,
It
it
is
is a headache.
beautiful. It is beautiful. Yeah. How many stitches per minute are you running that on?
So I've learned to slow it down. At first, I was doing it at about 900, and then I had to slow it down till about 700, 650, and now it works perfectly. As long as I have the tension just right, I can stick to about 700, 720. But anything probably over that, that's when I'm having issues.
Hmm. At the expo, there was the folks next to us. I'm not going to name any names here. They were using 1,100 stitches per minute on the
Oh
CR
my goodness.
metallic from us, and they were seamless. They were flawless. And so we
Wow.
were impressed by that, and we were telling everybody like, "Hey, go check that out," because there was individuals saying what you just said, and they were, we love how it looks aesthetically, but
Hmm.
functionally sometimes it doesn't cooperate the way we would like. So. Have you ever
Yeah.
used our Aluna thread? Because I want to give a shout out to that.
No, I haven't, and I haven't even used you guys metallic thread. Like I,
Oh, well,
I
maybe
go
that's the issue.
for yeah, I go for when it comes to Madeira, I go for oh my goodness, the rose gold. I go for those colors that like you could like those springy or like those fall type colors. I go for those colors. But I haven't used that one yet. But I
Okay.
have I have heard of it.
Yeah, so yeah, Luna thread is our glow in the dark thread that not many people know about. And so we're doing a whole summer campaign about it. So for those of you who haven't seen or heard of it, it's a very high quality specialty thread that it produces light in the dark when it's exposed to a light source. Not only can it be used for safety reasons like making clothing visible during night events, but it just looks super impressive. I'm actually going to show it in the next clip.
So this is the design with Luna, as you can see, and then this is the design in the dark.
And you're going to see this a lot more from us in the summer. We're going to be producing a lot of designs from the Luna. We had someone here making a few different designs. Actually, two of the people in my marketing department making these designs, and they look stunning. We looked at it with the lights on and with it off, and they look so cool. Cannot wait to post that on our social because it's very compelling. I mean, it just looks so cool. I'm ready to like send it to like Calvin Harris and Zed and be like, put this in here. And when you're up on stage, like wear this, like it looks so cool. So we're very excited about that. And we'll send you some so we can get a sample of it to see how it works.
Yeah, that'll be great. I actually work with a designer and she does a lot of waitress uniforms and bartender uniforms for clubs. So that will look amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that would look amazing. So listen, I could talk to you all day. I've really enjoyed our conversation today. We covered a lot of different topics. I hope that all of our watchers and listeners out there have enjoyed it too. We're going to put your handle down below. Thank you for tuning in and spending your time with us for another episode of Madeira Community Conversations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was great to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. Thanks so much.